What's good, y'all? I'm Jerry, about to check out how WWE should book John Cena's final run. This video is about Sportskeeda Wrestling. As we all know, based on Money in the Bank pay-per-view, John Cena made a surprise appearance and he dropped a bombshell on everybody that was in the arena and everybody that was watching live. He announced that he was retiring at the end of next year. So next year, 2025, will be John Cena's official last year as an active wrestler. And I want to say he had a tremendous career. Definitely one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. Definitely had an impact on my life as a man, as a fan of his. And I would love to see John Cena have one last run at the World Championship and eventually win the championship to actually break Ric Flair's record and ride off in the sunset after that, man. So you're about to hop into this video, man. Let's go.
Tonight, I officially announce my retirement from the WWE.
Yep.
Okay, brace yourselves, be emotional, but let's dig into it. It is unfortunately official.
I just think it's
But it's something
that
John Cena always
fast.
talked about.
John Cena.
He was always kind of contemplating when his end will be, and I guess he announced that it will be next year.
At Money in the Bank, he confirmed
So he will start
that his
the new year off
tour begins
going into
in
the
early
Royal Rumble.
2025 and is set to span for most, if not all, of the year. To summarize this, what he said is that at the show and the press conference, Cena said while WrestleMania 41 will be his final Mania, it won't be where he ends his career.
Okay.
Cena also said that his jorts are going to be retired once he retires.
Wow.
I'm pretty sure you can wear jorts after that, but not the same way. And he's going to replace it with a suit and tie. He's open to going to a world championship at the number 17 record-breaking level. He appears to be entering.
He gotta have a Super Cena type run next year. No lie.
And he's going to
the previous runs he didn't have this past year and a half was kind of him putting the younger talent over. It made him seem like he was an old man. He couldn't defend himself. So I would love to see John Cena have an even better career next year.
Long gone are the days when people meant what they said when they chanted
John Cena sucks.
Come to be a term of endearment for a man who is widely considered one of the greatest of his generation to perform at the highest level. Cena always said that he wanted to wrap up his career by the time he turns 50. And assuming he retires at the end of 2025, he's going to be nearly 49 years old.
Wow.
Back. There's a new wrestling quiz coming through. Check out Brain Buster, the daily quiz that tests your WWE knowledge with winning streaks, stats, and more. It's time to see if you're up for the challenge.
Let's get into it. What needs to be done with John Cena's final run in WWE? This is Sportskeeda Wrestling. I'm Kevin.
How are we gonna kick it off?
I booed John Cena and I've cheered him too. What do you think needs to happen with John Cena in his final run? Let us know in the comments below.
I don't think he should win the Rumble
I can
next
see
year.
you. Yeah, you can't see John Cena, but I can see you sticking through that little ad. Thank you so much. We have a few ideas of what WWE should and shouldn't do, and then
What if you could get
Come on, man, with the ads.
This is Caleb. Caleb was once a burnt-out English.
this the very final and pivotal year of an important career-ending run here. For one, WWE should not be putting John Cena in a string of weekly back-to-back matches so that he can face superstars for the first time ever. Overexposing him in his final year of in-ring competition is going to dilute the value of those big matches that he's in. We need Big Match Johnny being Big Match Johnny again. Unfortunately, this sucks for some younger members of the roster. Yeah, on the younger side, who could benefit from having the stardust of John Cena rubbing off of his colorful wristbands on them when they take an attitude adjustment.
Yeah.
But for the active week-to-week superstars, it's just a matter of what it is. Yeah, maybe it's just best overall that John Cena's not in there all the time. Yeah, who do you think is not?
I kind of agree with it.
This final run?
I ain't gonna lie.
Hear your take about that.
I want to see Randy Orton a part of that final run.
30 to 40 appearances in a
Randy
year
Orton,
that
Cody
can be
Rhodes,
described as 30 to 40
CM Punk.
matches in a year. And
Roman,
it can be
of course.
described as a part-time run, but certainly
else?
more expanded than what we've seen from John Cena in WWE in the past few years. It's still better to keep Cena's matches almost exclusively
I can't think of anybody else right now.
on premium live events or big destination versions of Monday Night Raw or SmackDown. Now, we get it. WWE is scoring the most expensive and profitable TV media rights deal that has ever been granted within professional wrestling. Monday Night Raw and premium live events moving to Netflix internationally, $5 billion over multiple years, kicks off in early 2025, which lines up with John Cena's farewell tour. It's going to be a part of justifying
I'm gonna
the
miss
money
my
they're
guy.
spending
I'm gonna miss John
getting
Cena.
such a big property. And we get that in order to give Netflix more value for the billions they're spending, WWE is kind of going to have to put John Cena in some matches on Monday Night Raw. And that makes it special. It's not outright unavoidable. His matches on Raw should be kept to a minimum, and minimum doesn't mean they're not special. It means they are simply awesome things you get to see on Netflix in John Cena's final run. Last year,
Okay.
heading into WrestleMania 39, Austin Theory, the young, braggadocious superstar, was put in a dream feud against Cena and ended up beating him at WrestleMania. The only issue is the match, in the eyes of a lot of people, simply didn't live up to standards. Nobody remembered anything about the rivalry beyond John Cena chewing Theory up on the microphone. Austin Theory somehow became the only person to ever be worse off after beating John Cena. That's no detriment to him, but it's just simply a matter of the way that the cards laid out when it was all said and done. Yeah, maybe that's not the same example if we're going to do a generation versus generation thing in this one final run. Old rivalries is the route to go.
Yeah.
Perhaps his
CM Punk,
last
Randy Orton,
WrestleMania match can be against
Roman Reigns.
Randy Orton, a man who, along with himself, helped define a generation of WWE, yet they've never had a one-on-one match at the show of shows.
And that's crazy to even hear.
A lot of big matches together. They were in the same match at WrestleMania 24.
That's the only
but that
time.
was a Triple H triple threat match. Yeah, so not exactly the same thing. It only seems like a fair spot since neither legend will be taking up a championship spot at WrestleMania from our estimations, and it can still be a marquee attraction in Las Vegas. It's already been hinted at in some way or another on social media. CM Punk, someone who's certainly counterculture,
Going back to
John Cena was
2011.
the face of WWE culture for quite some time, were certainly a yin and yang against each other in a fantastic way in the early 2010s. Their Money in the Bank 2011 main event may be one of the most underrated WWE main events of all time.
Cena versus The Rock one more time.
Very, very special.
That could
Or
be a
better
good,
yet, they
another
could
good
team up
match.
together against two up-and-comers. Who couldn't love
Another
seeing the
great
story of two old,
rivalry
bitter
between the two of them.
rivals now working on the same
A
page
three-peat,
for a common cause.
not a three-peat, but like a third time the charm type match.
Trope. Yes, how do they coexist? But one that would certainly translate well for guys like Cena and Punk at this stage in their careers and lives, and who have for the longest time stood across the ring against one another, but not side by side like that. It could be an attraction unto itself. There's always the possibility of him targeting a world championship run at a record-breaking number 17. We're not going to deny that he doesn't deserve it, but, you know, some could say that maybe that's more of a game for the modern, younger talent on the roster.
Yeah.
But apart from him hitting that record number, will anything good come from him being a world champion? That's a reasonable question. Even with his 16th world title reign in 2017, the only two things that came out of it were the fact that Cena tied Ric Flair's infamous world title record, and that it set up Bray Wyatt's first world championship win. But that's also ignoring the
2017?
significance of what could happen if he does indeed break the record.
Wow.
that Flair
What
has
I wonder
held
what
for
can happen.
years. To counter that, Cena's final run, having a record-breaking moment before he puts
They'll
up
be
his
live
pop-up
as
rebounds
hell.
for good, would also be a seismic swerve to keep fans, both casual and die-hard, on their toes, instead of just having them anticipating the ending of it all. Maybe behind the scenes, Cena isn't keen on being a world champion, even if he doesn't admit it when he's talking to the media.
Yeah.
An alternative idea, which in our opinion is maybe more interesting, is the story of John Cena going after the only accolade that has eluded him
The
throughout his
Intercontinental
entire
Championship?
career. The Intercontinental Championship. The working man's title within WWE. That's all it takes for him to have a Grand Slam championship run, and he deserves a crack at that as well. WWE's done a great job since Gunther made the IC title a prestigious fighting championship once again. Oh yeah, we're going to get into the stats here. There's only been 2 champions in the past 2 years in the IC title's lineage.
Gunther had that championship for a long ass time.
Really elevate that, even in just a transitional type of role.
The
It would also be a
IC
great way
Open
to
Challenge.
get him to feud with up-and-comers, but also make it legitimate at the same time. Other names he's never crossed paths with would
Breaker?
want to tangle with him in those circumstances.
Gunther?
But
Oh
in
my God,
reality,
Gunther versus
Cena
Cena.
won't need a championship storyline to feel important. He's a championship unto himself. He's John Cena. The fact that his last run is enough of a draw is a special, magical thing unto its own. There's been a fine balance where it doesn't feel like Cena's taking up the biggest spot in WWE, while at the same time helping to elevate younger talent. He's been in that role for the better part of a few years.
I agree with that. I ain't gonna lie.
Making sporadic appearances and having sporadic matches. But this needs to feel like something different. But that's where another key factor in how WWE should handle Cena's last run comes in. He shouldn't be losing that much to anyone and everyone.
Definitely not.
He's been losing a lot
Definitely
in the past
not.
years. After having the Super Cena reputation for a majority of his career, the former franchise player of WWE took on the opposite approach from 2016, losing all sorts of matches to all sorts of talent like Dean Ambrose, AJ Styles, Shinsuke Nakamura, and Solo Sikoa. If you're going to have every superstar who faces John Cena beat him, then it's going to devalue their victories in a big way.
Yeah.
The whole idea of beating the big superstar John Cena won't mean that much when fans simply just want him to feel like John Cena again. And it will
I agree with
devalue
that.
John Cena as well. It's a different mode they have to go in here. In a very same breath, Cena probably is going to be put under scrutiny if he beats too many newer superstars. It's a hard balance to hit here. But how is a win over him supposed to mean something right now in these circumstances?
Yeah.
The only way that can be done is by having superstars that have earned the right to beat Cena get wins over him. And that's not everybody, and that's debatable, and that's a whole other thing. And yes, that means WWE is probably going to have to present some type of newer version of a Super Cena.
Yeah.
That's a different debate. When we say a watered-down version of that, we mean John Cena just beats about everyone except a select few. In our opinion, the best way WWE can book Cena in 2025 is to present him as the most fired up, determined version of himself that we've seen in years. You know who he is?
I agree with that. Whoa.
He knows who he is. He knows what his body can do. He's crafty. He's smarter. And he makes different choices while still being a fiery, fighting underneath hero for the fans to rally behind. There needs to be an emotional lava flow of culmination and conclusion.
I hope they don't book him like how they did Ric Flair during his last run in WWE.
Yes, losing to a worthy opponent on his way out. As is the tradition of professional wrestling, you are going out on your back, looking up at the lights, and making another superstar on the way out, giving back to the business that gave so much to you. And no, we don't mean a Kurt Angle type of farewell where he just gets a random opponent and loses in 6 minutes. Yeah, that wasn't fair to Kurt Angle, but that was then. But this is John Cena. This is different. It needs to feel like a momentous, game-changing event for both him and whoever gets the truly career-changing moment of getting to end the career of the GOAT. Can everyone playing their part in this epic, emotional story deliver on their roles? Can John Cena have the biggest send-off in WWE history?
I think he
because
can.
At this point,
no lie.
That's what fans are expecting. and some feel it needs to be that and more. Yeah, it's a big question to ask, and if you watch this entire video and you haven't jumped into the comments yet, come on, do it, or I'm gonna reach through the screen and give you an attitude adjustment. I don't know how that's gonna work out, but get down there, or check out the other videos we have like these.
Alright, y'all, great video, man. Let me know down below in the comments on what y'all thought of my reaction to this video. Like, comment, subscribe. Until next time, I'm out. Peace.